So I was recently talking to a friend about NFTs, and we were just talking about some of the general stuff, different ones that have sold for X amount of money or different projects. And it got me thinking, how many NFTs are there and what percentage of them are actually selling? And furthermore, what percentage of them are making a certain amount of money? Are they all going to be selling for such extraordinary amounts of money? Probably not, but I wanted to do some digging and find out more information, so that's exactly what I did, and I'd be happy to share some of those facts with you guys in this video. Before we go any further, I do just want to say that the information isn't so black and white. There's not just a perfect list with all these details, because a lot of the NFTs are on different websites and different platforms, and there's so many different projects, but I did find some great information that will definitely sum up pretty much the NFT scene and what's actually going on. Are that many people making so much money, or is it a little bit too good to be true? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of this data. And I hate to ask because it does take time, but if you could subscribe, I would appreciate it. Drop a like on the video, it just takes a second, and it's something that I have to do because it does help my channel. But let's move on with the video. So guys, I'm going to link some of this information down below if you would like to look at it for yourself, but of course I will put some of it on the screen as I read. But since of course I don't have access to a number of this data, we're going to be going off some of these sources and kind of trying to compare and contrast. So let's jump into this one though. I want to start with the fact of this article where we're talking about how much NFTs are selling for. And this one takes the number from one of the most popular NFT sites there is and actually displays the breakdown of how much they sell for. Now, this was pretty shocking to me, and there is a catch, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. But if we're just looking at this image here, you can see that about a third of all NFTs that are being sold for less than $100. So that's $0 to $100 range. And that's a third of the NFTs. Now the next breakdown is going to be in the $100 to $200 range, and you have about 20% in that range. So basically everything from $0 to $200 is over half of all NFTs sold. So over half of NFTs being sold on one of the most popular websites are not selling for more than $200, with a third of those coming at $0 to $100, which means it could be just a couple bucks. Now, I do want to talk about the catch before we even talk about some of the other higher numbers here, is that this is looking at all NFTs that were sold, not the ones that weren't sold. So there could be tons and tons of NFTs that are listed for $50 that have never sold. There could be some that are listed for $500 that have never sold. So over half of all these NFTs that are selling on this website that even get the chance to make someone money are being sold for under $200. And a lot of them aren't even going to be selling at all. So that's something to be thinking about with this data, because it might seem, oh, you can still make up to $200 for selling your NFT. Yes, for the ones that sell, but not all of them are going to sell. So that's something to keep in mind. It definitely is an interesting number, because even if you do just look at it as, okay, let's take the 20% range or so where they're selling for $100 to $200. Hey, that's a fair chunk of change, Obviously, art takes time. Some of them are very simple pieces that don't take much time. Some of them are a little bit more elaborate. But either way, $100, $200, that's nothing to be laughing about. And 20% is a decent number, but again, it's the ones that are being sold. And are they all selling? Certainly not. That is absolutely certain. So let's go ahead and keep going through some of these other facts here that we have. So the next piece that I want to show you here is just a simple clip right here, and it's from entrepreneur.com. And this is an article about NFT website. And so they say, according to the crypto art website, more than 191,000 digital art objects have already been sold for a total exceeding $533 million. The distinguishing feature of NFTs is that their underlying technology certifies and guarantees blah, blah, blah. We don't really need that. But the point is 191,000 have been sold. And so here we have another breakdown that I want to talk about. First of all, we just have a nice number there that tells us how many have been sold, 191,000. Now, if you take that number and actually use that with the $533 million worth of money that is brought in, you would see that on this site in particular, the average NFT is selling for $2,790. Now, another catch. Of course, if you know anything about math, does that mean that you're basically going to get $2,790 per NFT? No, it does not. Because if one single NFT sells for, say, $68 million or whatever that one sold for, about that range, That's bringing up that average very, very high. And in fact, if we go back to the other article, they have a great little explanation here. So this one says, back on the other article here, can the average artist be making thousands of dollars per sale? For example, like we just said, the 2,700? Probably not. As Parker points out, this number is skewed by a handful of enormous sales. For example, and this is very key, if one artist sells an NFT for $1 million and 99 other artists sell their work for $1, the average would be $10,000. So 99 people are making $1, one person makes $1 million, and all of a sudden now the NFTs are selling for an average price of $10,000. And of course, that is what we're seeing with that other number. So even though we have 191,000 NFTs that have sold, you're not getting a very good price. And what that shows is that the other graph is just holding up even more. So it's very true that over half of those NFTs that are selling for under $200, with most of those selling for under $100. So is the NFT game just infinite money, unlimited supply of funds for any project you want to do? Of course not. You have to dive in deeper to some of the details. There's always going to be the flashy ones that will sell for a huge amount of money. There's always going to be people that get lucky and, have a story to tell where, I just messed around and I made this NFT and it sold for so much. Well, of course, you have to look at the bigger picture. It's dragging up the prices for other ones, sure, sometimes, but most of them aren't even going to sell in the first place. And second of all, when they do sell, they're not going to be selling for much each time. The average looks higher because of some of those bigger sales, but the median, if you will, is going to be way lower, probably less than $100, as we saw with those graphs. Now that leads to the other question though. Some people believe that a lot of these NFTs are investments and they haven't hit their peak. Now, on the other hand, some people believe that, sure, they might be investments and you already missed the wave. Now they're selling for a lot and they're going down, or they will go down. So there's both sides to play. Are most of them going to be great investments over the long course of time? Probably not. Just someone that I like to watch occasionally, follow on LinkedIn, for example, is Gary Vee. He's very much into NFTs. He's an entrepreneur and a businessman, and he loves to try to catch trends as they're happening or before they happen. So he's been into the NFT scene. He's starting a new company for NFTs and whatnot. And even he says, you have to be careful because 98% of these are not going to be good investments. There's going to be 2% of the projects that are going to make you a ton. So there's money to be made. There's money in this thing. But of course, not everybody's going to be a winner. And that's certainly the scene for individual NFT pieces as well. So you just have to keep that in mind and kind of keep the bigger picture right in front of you when you're talking about this stuff. So how many NFTs are being sold? Well, 191,000 NFTs has been sold. Millions have been listed. So, you're not talking about everybody just getting an insane amount of money for little amount of work. It's a tough business. There's a decent amount of work involved, especially if you do want to be making a sale or multiple sales, or, especially sales for a lot of money. You're going to have to build up a reputation. You're going to have to maybe get lucky, maybe a combination of both. So that's kind of where we're at. And then, of course, the other piece of that is how much are they selling for? Well, on average, not that much, especially when you look at the median side of things. Most of them are selling for under $100 when they do sell. So that's some of the data behind NFTs. I thought it was quite interesting. I wanted to do a deep dive and bring you guys in for this video as well. So if you did enjoy, please do drop a like. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I can make another video like this following up, just kind of going on some of the new trends that are coming up, focusing more specifically on a few different projects. If you think that would be interesting, you can let me know in the comments down below. And overall, let me know what you think about NFTs in general in the comments down below. You can follow me on social media as well, tweet me, whatever, follow me on Snapchat. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, if you guys are interested in some free stocks, I do have links down below to both Webull and Robinhood. So if you have one and not the other, you can sign up using my link and get a free stock. Or if you don't have either, perfect, you can sign up on both. You can make accounts on both. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.